drink at that point.
That's booze. That's alcohol.
It's like wine.
It's vodka.
It's pretty much wine.
It's grape flavored vodka. No, that's not the same thing.
Okay, guys, we got 20 seconds. We gotta do power stretching.
Okay.
And my armband is green, so it kind of goes through the green screen a little bit there, but that's fine. Okay, guys, gotta do stretches here. I don't have any video breaks. Okay.
Thank God I do. Woo!
On tonight's show, we do a review of the Carnival Valor with our co-host Chali. We also hear about the Diva cruise and 6 ways to avoid security while drunk. We have our latest cruise news and our photo of the week, as well as another fun cruise-related science segment. All this and much, much more on tonight's Cruise Week TV Live. Our show this week is brought to you by the folks at Good Memories Travel and by VMix. Welcome to Cruise Week TV Live, everyone. I am Matt, your newbie cruiser, and together with my lovely co-host Chali, we help you learn the ins and outs of planning your next amazing cruise adventure. Tonight we are taking a look at the Carnival Valor, as Chali is fresh back from her Diva cruise on there, and we'll be taking your questions all about the Valor and a little bit later on. But first, let's take a look at our photo of the week. Our photo of the week comes from the CCPPF group, and we asked them to post their best cruise photo for us to all see. As usual, we had lots of photos, but this one definitely caught our eye. It's super cute. It was sent in by Lori, Madonnelly. Shelley's going to help me out with this later on. It's, okay. But it's sent in by Lori, and it's her son, Alex, who was on the cruise for his birthday on the Carnival Pride. What a great birthday present, and that's so amazing. Remember, we feature a new cruise photo every week, and we send them to us, or you guys can watch for our post on the Facebook group, and we could feature your photo on an upcoming show. When you plan a cruise, you can certainly do it yourself, but having a professional help is so much better. They give great advice and can offer cash back to save you over the basic fare of costs. Next time you go to book a cruise, why not have an expert give you some free help and advice? Give Debbie a call or visit their website today and see how much easier and cheaper it can be. Debbie can be reached directly at 321-338-2953. And of course, their website at goodmemoriestravel.com. Chali is back from her crazy vacation on the Carnival Valor, and we thought it would be a great time to do a cruise ship review. The Valor is a smaller ship in the fleet, being launched in March of 2004 and carrying 2,974 passengers. It sits in the middle size offering by Carnival, and it is part of the Conquest class. So, Chali, did you enjoy your ship?
We did, Matt. We had a great time, of course, as always. But first, I've missed you. It's been like, what, 3 or 4 weeks?
It's been quite a while, actually. It's weird not having you back on the show. You were gone for a bit.
Well, April was a really busy month for me. We had our wedding anniversary dinner at the beginning of April. And then we had to go to our Willie Nelson concert that we go to every April. And then the Diva cruise was just last week. So every weekend, every Saturday, pretty much this month, I was gone. Yeah, back to back. Yeah. But we had a great time.
So you've been on a bunch of different cruises before in the past. I'm assuming you've been on the Valor more than once. Has your different cruise experiences on the Valor been pretty much the same? Have some been better, worse? What can you tell me about the Valor trips that you've had so far?
Well, basically, so the CCPPF 5th Annual Diva Cruise was 4 days on the Carnival Valor, bound for Cozumel. Later on the show, I'm going to talk about the Diva cruise itself, but this part of the show, I'm just going to pretty much give a review of the Valor, the ship, and not necessarily the group cruise itself. The Valor is the only ship that in the fleet that we've had multiple Diva cruises on. So I've been on the Valor now I want to say this was the third time, and we have one more Diva cruise on the Valor coming up next April, and then they're going to bring the Dream into Galveston. But the Valor's been here a while, so I've been on the Valor several times now. So anyway, so the CCPPF 5th Annual Diva Cruise was 4 days on the Valor, going to Cozumel. Frankie the Tank, he's been on the show with us, I think just the one time, but he was our cruise director twice.
Yep.
This time around, we had Brandon. He was a really good, energetic. He was involved in everything. He helped us out with all of our group activities and stuff. He was really
Frank's a
good
great
cruise
guy.
director.
I
So
would definitely like to talk to Brandon a bit more. Frank was actually on one of our previous shows quite a while ago, and we still are in contact with him. And he's been really helpful trying to talk to other cruise directors. So he's a pretty good guy. How is the
yeah, Frankie the
general?
Tank, he's the best. He's great. We love him.
So were any of the shows pretty much different, or were they pretty similar to each other? Like, how does that change when you go on the same ship over and over again? I mentioned to Bert a couple times and asked him about his Oasis class ship. He's gone on that like 7 times in a row. So how
Oh,
has
really?
the Valor
There's
changed
a
since the
cut.
time?
I've been fortunate enough in Galveston. It seems like they do rotate the ships fairly often, so I've had the opportunity to sail on a lot of different ships. But there are some ships that have been in Galveston a little longer than others. I've been on the Magic several times. I've been on the Valor and the Liberty more than once. But basically, my review is going to start with our port city. So Galveston, of course, is where the Valor is at right now. Galveston is as always, a super easy. It's organized port, parking, shuttles, and all that's very close. Plenty of hotels, dining, shopping, activities, sightseeing. The cruise terminal itself in Galveston, in my opinion, it's a well-oiled machine. I mean, they have it down to a science. If you've had a bad day at Galveston Port, I really chalk it up to a bad day, because out of 16 cruises, 13 of those cruises have been out of Galveston, and I've never encountered any problems. The drop-off zone, of course, it's crowded. There's lots of people, but that's every cruise terminal. The waiting area, but the lines move fast. They get it. They know what they're doing. They get you on the ship as quick as they can. Always love cruising out of Galveston. It's always a great. I mean, honestly, I can leave my house at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on Lido deck by 11:30, 11:45, having a cocktail and ready to go. Now, of course, I turned platinum a couple of cruises ago, so I've gotten a little spoiled. You know, we get to go to the Platinum Lounge and we get to board first. But even before I was platinum, you know, it's not a long wait. It seems like
And I
at
think
first you
that's
walk in and there's thousands of people, but they got it going. It's quick.
I think that's something a lot of new cruisers and even seasoned cruisers really overlook when booking their cruise ship is the port that you first, go on the ship. Because I've only been, I think,
Right.
to Fort Lauderdale and Louisiana, and they were drastically different. Drastically different. The Fort Lauderdale port, super easy, lots of shuttles. It's not a giant city like Louisiana. You are in the big part of Louisiana. It's crowded. There's a bunch of people, heavy
In
traffic,
New Orleans.
not a lot of shuttles. It was a
New
bit.
Orleans, the problem with New Orleans is they have there is not a lot of parking options, and if you do
Exactly.
park at your hotel, it's like $75 or something crazy. You know, I mean, there are parking places, but you find yourself walking all over New Orleans with all your luggage,
Trying to find out
trying to
where
get
to
on the
go.
ship. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
So, for the
But
people watching now,
Galveston's
have
a
you
great port.
guys ever had any issues with certain ports? Like, you're really excited to go on the ship, and then you just had issues at the port trying to board the ship, trying to just park, everything else of that
I've been really
nature.
blessed, Matt. I mean, I've only pretty much sailed out of Galveston and I've had no problems. We've also sailed out of Miami a few times, and again, no problems. I mean, I guess, maybe I'm just blessed, or maybe I don't let the small stuff bother me, but we really haven't had any issues in any ports we've gone out of. Miami, they know what they're doing too. I mean, come on, it's a capital of the cruise ships, so they've got it under control. And Galveston does a great job too. We only have three, well, I say only, we're the second largest cruise port, other than with Miami. We have 3 ships that rotate out of Galveston, but they do a great job. We're in and out, no problem. So,
Fran says, sorry, just one last thing. Fran
go
says, I've
ahead.
been out
No,
of
go
every
ahead.
port on the East Coast from Charleston down, and Carnival really does a great job getting you on the ship and boarding. And I mean, that's something really great, too. Like, just the ease of access getting on the ship itself. There's not, like, a huge amount of security protocols where you have to wait in these giant lines. They have a bunch of different areas where you can just go from A to B on the ship, and then you're just good to go. Especially if you're a
And like
platinum
I
member
said,
as well, it's nice.
I've gotten a little spoiled.
Yeah.
Not this cruise, not this one or the last one, but the one before that. I turned platinum, and it makes a huge difference.
Oh
Go sit
yeah,
in a
you
little
got
platinum lounge,
snacks
and you're
and
the first one on the
coffees and
ship, and you're
little
like,
biscuits. It's
hey.
nice. It's nice. You kind of eat and then
So
look at the
yeah,
other people. It's like,
but like I said, even before I turned platinum, and I'm still in the cruise terminal, Galveston. You walk in, and there's thousands of people. Excuse me, I came back with a little bit of cruise voice, but it's a well-oiled machine. They do a great job. So moving on. So the Valor is a Conquest class ship, just like my favorite ship of all time, the Liberty. To me, those ships are the perfect size. They're not gigantor mega ships, and they're not the little tiny cruise ships from 20 years ago that don't seem. They're somewhere in the middle. To me, they're the perfect size. We've had the Conquest, the Freedom, the Liberty, and the Valor all have been in Galveston. I've been on all of those ships, and they're all conquest class ships. These are normally the ships that do the 4 and 5 day cruises out of Galveston, and that's why I'm a little surprised that 2019 will be the Valor for the Diva cruise, but in 2020 they're bringing the Dream, and the Dream is the same as the Magic and the Breeze. That's a big girl. And I'm surprised that they're using her for the 4 and 5 day cruises, but the 7th annual Diva cruise will be on the Dream, so we're excited about that. It's a nice ship. I've been on her before. That's when we went to New Orleans, is when we went on the Dream, and
I heard the Dream can get
walking
pretty
all
wet and
over
wild on
with my
there.
luggage. Where do we go? Where are we supposed to
Yeah.
go? So the decor of the Valor is very patriotic, but it's still kind of eclectic. It's patriotic, but it's not like there's flags and stars and stripes everywhere. Um, there's all kinds of different decoration all over the ship, and it all has to do somehow with being a patriot, being patriotic. It was an unusual decor, but I liked it. It was nice. It wasn't gaudy and sparkly like my favorite, the Liberty, but it's still very pretty and done very tastefully. The food on the Valor was exactly what I've come to expect from Carnival. I've been on so many cruises that I practically know the menu. I mean, I know what I'm going to get when I get on the ship. Plenty of food choices. They got the seafood shack, the Guy's Burgers, the Blue Iguana Cantina, all those things. The service in the dining room was great and fast. One morning was really, really busy, and it was kind of slow, but that wasn't the fault of the staff. It was just the busyness of the dining room. I was really disappointed that I didn't know about the steakhouse on the Valor on this cruise, because as I reviewed on my Vista review, as I mentioned on my Vista review, so the steakhouse menus changed. And not that it's not good, it's just that all of the favorite things that I wanted from the steakhouse menu, they took away and added something new. So I won't be going back to the steakhouse until maybe they make another change and we look at some new things. But this sailing of the Valor, they had not changed the steakhouse menu yet. So it was still the old menu with the escargot and the crab cakes and the lobster bisque.
Reminiscing of the escargot.
So I was like, oh, I didn't make a reservation because I thought it was the new menu. So we tried to get in the last night, but they were booked up. So unfortunately, oh well. But anyway, so as far as the food, we're just talking about the food a little bit.
Can you have room service deliver food from specialty restaurants?
No.
Okay.
No, not room service, but I was just fixing to talk about the room service. So a lot of you know that they've changed the format of the room service menu. All of the normal room service menu items are now available until 10 p.m. From 10 p.m. on, you have to pay for it, and they don't offer the same selections. I mean, I know everybody's different, but when I come stumbling drunk home in my cabin at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't necessarily want a big basket of greasy French fries and a pizza. I'd rather have like a sandwich or something kind of light. Just, I got the munchies. I want something to eat. You can't get a turkey sandwich. You can't get any of the cold selections at the after hours menu. So I don't know. I know they just started that whole thing. I think they should kind of revamp it and look at some other choices, but um yes, you have to pay for it. I wouldn't mind paying a couple of bucks for a turkey sandwich after hours, but it's not available. I wish they would just combine the entire menu and say, okay, this is the menu from until 10 p.m. and the same menu is available till after 10 p.m., but you have to pay X amount of dollars to get it. I mean, that's what I would rather they do, but it's not an option. So
I
maybe
think that
they'll change it.
that might be a good question to ask people, because I don't think I've ever ordered room service after ever, really. I don't think I've ever actually ordered room service. The only thing I do is like the breakfast thing in the morning because it's very convenient, especially, and I only do that during court
You
days.
don't come home after you're partying in the club and want little snacky snack, Matt? You
Not
don't want
really.
nothing?
I mean, I don't really eat that much when I'm drinking. Like, I usually eat a big dinner beforehand. I go out and I drink, or I'll go to the pizza place and I'll
I
get like
know.
a slice or two of pizza.
You're trying to keep the buzz going longer. You don't want to eat any food because then your buzz is going to go away, right?
I mean, if there's a lot, it's very difficult now after 10 o'clock to order room service, and I don't know. So, for a lot of you guys
It's
watching,
not difficult. It's not difficult at all. It's not that it's difficult. It's just that you
limited
have to
now
pay for it after
and paying,
10,
yeah.
and they don't have the same things that you used to get. Like I said, I don't want a big Philly cheesesteak sandwich at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just like to maybe have a ham sandwich and a couple of
Hmm.
chips and then go to bed. I don't want a big greasy fried up meal
I
right
mean,
before I go to sleep.
when I had the drink card on the Magic, which was the only ship I had a drink card, we had a fridge on there, which I really missed on the Carnival Triumph. They didn't have a mini fridge, which was very inconvenient, I think, for a lot of things. So for the Magic, I would always have extra bottles of water in the mini fridge, and I would always go to the deli during the day,
That's
get
weird. It
like a
must have just been your
sandwich.
cabin because I've had a mini fridge
Hmm.
on the Triumph. It
It
must have
might
just
have
been the
just been our
cabin y'all
cabin,
got.
yeah. So I would always go to the deli, get like a sandwich, and then just put it in the mini fridge. And then later on in the night, I have a sandwich.
Eat
I
it
don't have to
later.
bug room service or wait or fall
Well,
asleep drunk
my
and then
biggest
miss room service.
my biggest foodie tip when we had the little foodie show was that when you're in the dining room after you order your dinner, get a cheese plate or maybe two and tell them to take it to go and they'll put a little cover on it. Then you get back to your room and you got a whole plate full of cheese and some little fruits and some little breads. That's a perfect snack before bed, if
Hmm.
you've been drinking a little bit. So,
Melissa
um,
Colby says, we always order room service after 10, especially after the comedy show and drinking. It kind of sucks for the change. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
it does,
I don't mind paying.
but
The
mhm,
change of having to pay for it, I mean, they're keeping we're talking like what is it, $4 or
mhm.
$5 for a chicken basket of
It's
chicken
just the
fingers. It's not
amount of stuff you can order isn't
right.
right.
It's like
Yeah.
I would like to have all of the morning and the evening choices combined so that you have more choices. There's like
Hmm.
a Philly cheesesteak, um, some sort of quesadilla, chicken fingers, or a pizza, and then French fries. And it's like
That's
I
all
don't want any of that hot
greasy.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I want something to eat, but I don't necessarily want something that heavy. So I wish they maybe if enough of us complain, they'll make it like where you can just order whatever you want off the room service menu. But like I said, I don't mind paying a couple bucks for a
Hmm.
turkey sandwich, but I'd rather have a sandwich or something like that. Um, Moving on, the service, as always, outstanding. I've heard stories and urban legends of crew and staff and your cabin steward being ugly and mean and rude and things like that, but I've never personally experienced it. I think sometimes we misinterpret someone from another country, maybe the way they talk or the way they handle things, like abruptly, that we just all of a sudden it's that they're being rude because all the staff is from somewhere else. I mean, we've got people from all over the world, part of the crew, and sometimes the Russian people, especially, they're like, "No booze for you." you know, they never said that to me. They said that to somebody that was sitting next to me. But anyway, I've never encountered a rude crew member. I've never had a cabin steward that didn't do everything I asked them to do, keeping ice and keeping my cabin clean. I've never had a problem in any way, shape, or form.
Which to
Service was
me,
great.
that's amazing. Like could never work as a crew member. I don't think I don't like dealing with people. I'm not a big fan of children. I've
Really?
talked about this
I'm
quite a lot.
astonished.
I mean, I'm very like dry sense of humor, I would say,
Mm.
and I have very little tolerance for things that
Thank you, Captain
lack of
Obvious.
common sense, I would say, when people have lack of common sense or they ask silly things that are like, I didn't know this. Like,
So
where's
you're
the
kind of snotty, is what you're trying
it's
to say, Matt.
I mean
You're a little
I
bit of
know
a
a lot
snot.
of different stories from cruise ships where people expect like to be really really pampered and just being very rude people towards a lot of the staff
Oh
members, and
yeah,
I just
no,
don't
no,
think I
never.
could personally deal with that. So like all these staff members, always be nice to them. I mean, they're trying their best and they're doing this job, 7 days a week.
And
It's
for months and
months and
months and
months and
months, they
months.
work very hard. We're not just talking 7 days a week. We're talking 7 days a week for like 6
6
months at a
months
time.
exactly. Holidays,
Their day
everything.
off. If you the Cruise Confidential, remember we interviewed David that
Hmm.
wrote Cruise Confidential. He's like, your day off was that you didn't have to work the lunch menu. Or you didn't have to do the dinner rush at dinner. That was your day off, is that you got just like one shift off. These
Hmm.
guys work so hard.
It's
Never. I mean, I've
incredible.
never. They do such a great job, and I always have a great. Now granted, when I walk on the ship, without hesitation, the minute I meet my cabin steward, $20 bill,
Yep.
keep ice in my thing, make sure we got towels, and we're good to go. I'm easy. I'm not going to complain. No worries. They do everything I ask them to do. No
And if you
worries.
guys are going to tip them, make sure you give them a direct tip. Leaving money on the bed with like a note, it's iffy. A lot of times, some of
No,
the
I'll put
cabin
it in
stewards
their
won't do
hand.
that. Exactly. That's really the way to go because there have been like stories in the past that I've heard and read online, like people put money on their bed saying for the stewards, and then they'd be like, oh, actually, they stole my money. I want a refund on this cruise or some other. There are people who do like really bad stuff like this, and
Yeah,
I
no, I
just,
like to hand it right to them and just let them know right
yep,
from the
direct.
start. First day, here's your extra tip. Thank you for everything you're doing. So,
Yep.
um, Dwayne and I had for the first time on the Valor, does have the category 6K, which is the scenic ocean view cabin. Amazing cabin, so much room. Oh my God, we had so much space, and one entire wall of your entire cabin is a giant window that looks out into the ocean. This is at the very forward of the ship. It's category 6K. Not every ship has one, but most of them do. It's called a scenic ocean view. It's got the little button on the wall that controls a shade that goes up and down. So, of course, you don't have the sun shining in your face in the morning. Beautiful cabin. We loved it. It was so spacious. I felt like I was in a hotel room because I mean the hotel, the cabins are little, but I mean I felt like we were in a suite. It just didn't have separate rooms to it. It was a great cabin. We had a really good time. Um, Valor set sail for her first sailing in 2004. A few things nitpicky, no big deal. It's not like it ruined my cruise, but like the handle kept falling off the closet door and like the little button cover for the shade retractor, like every time we pushed it, it would fall off and fall on the floor. So I think since 2004, maybe Valor, she might need a little TLC, a little push
Pick
up,
me up.
little
Yep.
duct tape, little this and that. But overall, she was a great ship. We had a great time. The Valor's beautiful. The staff is great. The food was good. The ship itself is good. We had a really great time.
Well, thanks for your mini review about that, Chali. We are going to take a short
Mini.
cruise news break. And we're going to come back with Chali's experience about her Diva cruise. And she is going. When you cruise on a ship, you think of water, but you usually don't think of it running into your cabin from the ceiling and flooding the whole deck. But that's what some cruises experienced this week on the Carnival Dream. And Melissa Colby got my joke a little bit earlier on there. An issue with the Carnival Dream's fire suppression system reportedly caused water to begin flowing down the walls and pooling in the hallways. And you can see pictures right up here. That's the stuff that nightmares are made from. If I was, a little bit drunk waking up in the morning and I see the flooding of this, I think we're in the Titanic or having like a real bad dream here. So the hallways of the cruise ship flooded in the evening of May 3rd. Around 50 of the ship's staterooms on Deck 9 flooded as a result of the break. Carnival Cruise Line confirmed in a statement the liner of the 5 days into a week-long voyage around the Western Caribbean at the time of the incident. Footage of the ship shows water pouring from the ceiling and walls and one of the ship's corridors as passengers and staff look on. Carnival Cruise Line has since stated that the water stemmed from the fire suppression system and employees began cleaning immediately. Onboard teams began immediately related to this clean water from the fire suppression system. Carnival told Fox News, "We appreciate our guests' understanding and sincerely apologize for this disruption. We also thank our crew members for their quick action and hard work." The cruise line added that the majority of the affected guests were able to stay in their own staterooms following the cleanup. Carnival has confirmed that an inconvenienced guest would be able to have a refund for their cruise and be given 50% off voucher for a future cruise. The company also offered to fly passengers home if they chose to disembark early. "We appreciate our guests' understanding and sincerely apologize. We also thank crew members for their quick action and hard work," said Carnival, adding to the incident that should not delay the ship's subsequent itineraries. "I wonder if having an in-cabin pool counts as an upgrade or not." Just 2 weeks after the Carnival walked back a price increase and limited the number of photos included in its premium Pixels Max photo package, the line has axed the package altogether, along with the Pixels Plus package. The only photo package the cruise line now offers is the standard Pixels. "Despite our very good intentions, we simply did not anticipate the demand for these packages and our ability to deliver them to our guests on board," the line said in a statement. "Going forward, we will be evaluating new packages that both meet the expectations of our needs and of our guests onboard our photo teams. The Pixels Plus package offered one copy of all the customers' photos, either as prints or digital files. The Pixels Max package offered the same plus 50 additional copies, previously unlimited photos. All Pixels Max packages and Pixels Plus packages purchased before May the 2nd of 2018 will be honored. For the time being, only photo packages available is Pixels, which includes 5 photos for professional printing on board and 1 photo as a 16-inch by 20-inch canvas portrait for $99.98 pre-cruise or $120 on embarkation day. At least one person in the stateroom or children under 21 in a different stateroom must be in each photo to receive the images as part of the package." So our cruise show and all the wonderful abilities we have to bring in guests remotely wouldn't be possible at the level we do without vMix. vMix is the live production software that powers our live show and many other high-end productions. From church services to football games, more and more live productions run on vMix. What our producer Bird really liked when he was trying to improve our show is that they give you a full 60-day trial of everything. That way you can test it out risk-free before you buy for 2 full months. Then they have systems just starting from $350 up to $1,500 depending on your production requirements. If you're going to do any sort of serious live streaming, you need vMix. Try it today at vmix.com. So, Chali takes a group cruise, and they can be pretty crazy even by sanitarium standards. So, Chali, what is a group cruise, and what makes it different from a regular cruise?
Well, Matt, we just returned from another fabulous CCPPF Diva cruise. This was our 5th annual Diva cruise. The cruise has gotten bigger every year, and this year we had 100 plus divas on board. The CCPPF Divas cruise is every year from Galveston in April, and there has been some real interest in an East Coast chapter of the Divas. So we created another Facebook group for those that a lot of people don't want to fly in for a 4-day cruise and deal with hotels and things like that. So We're hoping to see some East Coast divas getting representing and wearing their diva shirts and going on the Diva cruise as well. If you've ever wondered what goes on during a Diva cruise, well, I'm here to tell you today what goes on.
Remember, this
Bird's
is a
got some little.
family-friendly show.
That sounded like a little disclaimer at the bottom, like asterisk. This is a
Just a
family-friendly show.
reminder.
Bird's got some great little pictures going on up over here for the on that. Oh, there they are.
Pointing's
over
hard,
here.
right? I still
Yeah,
get it wrong.
I know, right? You get mixed up. It's like it's over here. Some great pictures from the cruise. We usually get the party started in Galveston the day before the cruise. We have a meet and greet for food and drinks. Lots of divas stay in Galveston at Guido's Seaside Inn, which is one of the oldest hotels in Galveston. It's old, but it's clean, and they have a beautiful pool area. They are literally walking distance from food and beverages, and they're really cheap, under $100 a night. So it's a great choice in Galveston to stay. They do not have a shuttle to the cruise, but they will if you stay at their hotel. You can park your car there for your cruise, whether it's a 4, 5, or 7 day. You can park your car right there at Guido's while you go on your cruise. So that's usually the night before. So we all tried to board the ship as close to the same time as possible, but it's impossible. I mean, we had 100+ divas on this cruise, so as many of us try to get on at the same time as we can, but there's no way all of us.
Just one big conga line.
Well, the problem is we got platinums, we've got Faster the Fun, we've got, people that didn't sign up for the early enough time to get on board. So it's all mixed up. But usually, at least, there was the pic. There, where is it? There was the picture that just passed us. Was our little boarding photo that we do. Usually, there's at least 30 or 40 of us that can get on at the same time. So we all stop and get a little group picture. So we get on the ship. Okay, we the first day we have a lunch on the meet and greet on the Lido deck. Got the guys' burgers, Blue Iguana Cantina. You got the Lido buffet. You got all these choices for lunch. We all meet up there in our Diva shirts. Everybody has lunch, has some drinks, and we party down there until it's time for the muster drill. From there, we do the muster drill, and then everybody's unpacking. Dinner's very casual. Sorry again. I always come back with the cruise voice. So on the first night, it's cruise casual, even the dining room, unless you go to the steakhouse like Matt in a tank top.
I'm sorry, that was my
really
first cruising experience, and she hounds me over this every single time. Instead of giving me wonderful advice, she just keeps pushing it on me. Like, oh,
you're a member of CCPPF. You have 185,000 people there ready to answer your question. All you had to do was say, is it okay for me to wear a tank top to the steakhouse? And 500 people would have told you no.
I told him no several times.
Oh, Bird said he told you.
If it was long enough to go to my knees, it would be considered a dress, and I'm sure that's fine. Like, sundresses are basically long tank tops.
So you're telling me you went to the steakhouse in a sundress, Matt? Is that where we're going with this?
If I did, they would probably still say no.
Is that your final statement?
I mean, maybe.
I'm sorry, I snort laughed on that one. That was funny. I'm picturing you in a sundress, tank top sundress, going to the steakhouse. Okay. So anyway, where were we? I've lost myself. So anyway, okay, the first night. Everybody, so then it's a casual dinner. Usually everybody that wants to meet as a group, we go to dinner in the dining room. And then after that, it's time for the cabin crawl. And so those of you that haven't been on a group cruise, a cabin crawl is basically where you have host cabins, and we try to make it be several different kinds of cabins so that the opportunity, you can see a balcony, you can see a suite, you can see a scenic ocean view, you can see what an aft balcony or a wrap balcony. There's so many different categories of cabins on the ship until social media happened and everybody started sharing the information. you just almost didn't know what you were going to end up with. So anyway, the cabin crawl, we had 9 cabin hosts and we had 40 crawlers. So basically, if you can imagine in your mind, 40 divas walking in the hall to each cabin, and we had 9 of them. So of course, that's by the time you get to the 9th cabin, you've had 9 shots. And you've walked all over the ship, going to but the problem on this Diva cruise, we didn't really think about it beforehand, but almost every cabin was on deck 9, and they were these different cabins, but we kept getting congested, and we were making a lot of noise. I'm surprised security didn't get called. I mean, we had like 40, the first one wasn't so bad, but by like the 4th cabin, people are getting a little loud because they've had
Let's
4
see.
shots.
25 security guards on a cruise ship, 180 drunk diva women.
Yeah, that's scary. Those odds aren't good for you. So anyway, that's the cabin crawl. So we do that. So the first day at sea, poolside fun, drinking. That night is elegant night. We always do a big elegant night group photo. We've gotten so big, we have to do it on the we've always done it on the staircase, but now we're overflowing the staircase to where we've had to move up a few decks to where we have like 2 sets of staircases just to fit us all in. So we eat dinner as a group. Everybody's sparkly, dressed up, looking fabulous. And then we all go change clothes into our drunk shirts, which is kind of like the Dr. Seuss shirts that say thing 1 and thing 2. Well, you can be drunk, whatever number you decide to be. They come in all kinds of colors. And on top of our drunk shirts, we all wear glow gear. Tiaras and sunglasses and bracelets and necklaces. We're all glowing from head to toe.
This
and
is
we go to
more
every
and more
bar.
like a cult. I don't know about this. We all go to each other's rooms, get dressed up, wear very special outfits, and then we all go and drink.
It's not a cult. It's not a cult.
You have to join our group online and get accepted.
It's not a cult. Anyway, so anyway, we start at the atrium bar. Everybody in the group gets a shot, and we go to every bar on the ship and get a shot. That's shot fest. So then the 3rd day, I'm getting tired just talking about it. Boy, I just got off of it. I'm still exhausted. So then the 3rd day, it's our first port of call, our only port of call, Cozumel. We usually split up into several different groups. We had a Mr. Sancho's group. We had a group that went out with Adrian on the sailboat. We had a group of us that did the Cozumel bar hop, where you go to the other side of the island and do the bar hop. Then when we get back from that, everybody pretty much eats and takes a nap. And then sometime in the evening, all of us meet up in our cheetah outfits. We have Divas Gone Wild. We all wear animal print and cheetah ears and all that. And we have a group photo and we look fabulous. We're all hot in our little cheetah print outfits. So that's a lot of fun. I
have a question for some people, actually, because this is kind of relevant. I am not a big fan of like large groups. I'm a person that is, I'm a host on a cruise show, and I'm supposed to be really social with other people. You're reclusive, is what
you're trying to say.
Yeah,
you're not. You're antisocial.
It's draining to be
hosting
around large
groups.
Hosting
a CruiseWeek TV show.
I like doing this because it's just like me, you, and Bird, and it's not like I'm like around large groups of people. But being in large groups is socially exhausting for me. Like, I feel drained after being around a huge amount of people. So I'm curious for people who have gone with groups before. Do you guys like split up from the groups when you go on the ports, or do you like to stay in large groups? I'm personally like, okay, maybe like 5 people. That's like a max number for me. Any more than that becomes like really, really just draining. I want to relax. I don't want to have to interact a lot with
the great thing about the great thing about the group cruise though is that we have all of these activities and on this itinerary that you can print out or you can download to your phone. But in the end, you can go to as much or as little as you want. If you just want to do the cabin crawl and nothing else, this is your vacation.
Exactly.
It's just that this is what's available to you as a group. You can go to now as the hostess, as the one that, and I have lots of people that help me, but as the main person hosting these group cruises, it's important. I have to be at every activity. I need to be at everything that we're doing. But you, as a part of the group cruise, if you don't want to go to anything, if the only reason you joined the group was to get the onboard credit, that's okay too. I mean, honestly, you can be a part of it as much as you want to be. It's totally up to you. It's totally your vacation.
My biggest fear, and I know Bird to do something like this, and I can already tell he's going to be laughing very soon. I like to take naps throughout the day. I'm a napper. It's nice to be up in the morning, be energetic, run around, do different stuff.
We need to have a group nap.
And then,
what about a group nap, Matt? If we all got together as a group and took a nap.
I'm pretty sure cults do something like that too after they drink stuff.
It's not a cult.
I don't know if they usually wake up from these naps either. I'm kind of worried about these cabin crawls and group napping and dressing up.
You have so much to learn, Matt. I can't wait to get a hold of you. I cannot wait. I got so much to teach you. I got so much. You need to step out of that shell, boy. Come on, let's do it. Me and you, we're going to do it together.
Maybe drunk Matt. That's a different Matt.
That's the Matt that's had a little too much to drink. I got you.
That's social Matt. That's social Matt.
Is there a social Matt? I mean, come on.
Yes.
There has to be one out there. Okay.
Drink hard,
so
Matt.
The last day of the cruise is Group for St. Jude. So I got to throw some shout outs here. So the CCPPF Divas raised $2,500 and donated a big, huge check on the Group for St. Jude on the Lido deck. Patty Brower, our official t-shirt designer, she creates a big check every year with the amount on it. We presented it to Brandon, the cruise director, $2,500. Want to give a shout out to Kim, Melanie, and Tina, that they were all out on the Lido deck passing out shirts. Kim did an amazing job. She did most of the work where all of this was concerned, organizing, taking donations via PayPal, getting all the shirts separated and sizes and everything. $2,500. The year before, I want to say it was like $1,600, something around there. So we almost surpassed it by $1,000. We did a great job. We're next year we're setting our goal even higher. So every year on the Diva Cruise, we also do a St. Jude's fundraiser and a raffle. We do like a raffle ticket. So you $10 for a raffle ticket or whatever, and if you get chosen, we have a gift card for you and T-shirts and things like that. So. Also, on the last day of the cruise, that's also our slot pool, which if you've never done a slot pool is basically you go into the casino, everybody that paid their share gets so many pulls on the slot. If there's a jackpot, everybody's going to split it. If there's not, we take our winnings at the end. We bet it on black or red. I don't know, maybe it's the CCPPF curse, but we have yet, between the group cruise and the Diva Cruise, we have yet to hit a jackpot. But next year, it's going to be different. I can feel it. I can feel it, Matt. And then, of course, the last night, we have our little farewell party, which sometimes works out, sometimes it doesn't. People are packing. People are tired. People are at dinner. You just see people, bye-bye. But we try to kind of congregate around the piano bar and the bars and stuff, try to say bye to everybody. But it's hard because there's so many people on different schedules, and the last night you're exhausted. And right, the last night everybody's tired. So, ladies, find us on Facebook. We're the CCPPF Divas and the CCPPF Divas East Coast. Come join our group. Be a part of these fabulous cruises that we go on. Made lifelong friends. I meet new lifelong friends every time I go on one. We have a great time, and some of the best ladies I've ever met. We try to keep it, 99% ladies, but we do have a few manservants that go with us, but you're required to, you have to be a manservant, and there are requirements for that. So if you're booked on a Diva Cruise with a diva, if you're a male, you may come with us, but you have to be our manservant. More details in the group if you're interested. Matt, I think you'd make a great manservant.
No, I disagree.
Not a cult, right? Not a cult. Not a
Not a
cult. What
You'd
does
make
a,
a great one.
what
I
does
can
a
see you covered
manservant have
in
to do?
bags and backpacks and fetching drinks and your little Speedo. You'd be great at it.
Fetching drinks. Nuh-uh. Unless you guys are buying me drinks, Matt was supposed to be back with her 8 martinis.
There's
Find me on the floor drunk.
no
Don't worry, I
fetching
got the
here.
glasses.
No fetching from Matt. I see how it is. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my review of the Valor. That's my information on the Diva cruise. And I think we did pretty good, Matt. 7:44. We did almost a whole hour, just me and you. We're really good at this.
Okay, guys, moving on. My science segment. Without a source of power, these huge cruise vessels would be nothing more than drifting aimlessly hotels. A large number of the older ships use diesel recuperating engines for generating power for propulsion. Cruise ship engine power is supplied through transmission to the propeller shafts. These transmissions determine the revolutions of the propellers. Modern ships use either diesel electric engines or gas turbine as a source of power for propulsion and for the ship system. Some of the larger ships depend on 2 power sources, one for electrical power and one for propulsion. Gas turbine engines, as being aeroderivative, generate heat which is transformed from mechanical energy into electrical power. Compressed air is fired into combustion chamber to achieve this, so it's very similar to how a car engine will work. Hot exhaust is made over the turbine, which spins to drive mechanically a shaft. The power can be used to spin the electrical generators, the same way that diesel do to electric engines. Yet they use direct drive system, not a turbine. The output shafts to produce electrical power are connected to the electrical generators. Both engine types need a lot of fuel. The Cunard QE2, for example, consumed a daily of 380 tons of fuel. When she's traveling at 28.5 knots of speed and carries fuel enough to sail for about 12 days. Usually ships fill up at various ports and using fuel barges as floating gas stations. Vessels use lower grade diesel, which tends not to burn as purely as diesel-powered road-going vehicles. All ships rely on propellers to push through the water. These are referred commonly to as screws, which provide forward and reverse motion. Airplanes, for example, require tremendous speeds of propellers to provide forward motion for flight, but ship propellers do not turn so fast and rely on the torque power. Therefore, they travel slowly and rarely top 30 knots. The basic detail about the cruise ship engine room is its location. The ship's heaviest weights have to be situated at the lowest possible place because of stability. If you have it anywhere else, you could kind of fall over, and ships falling over don't really make a great vacation. Ships' lowest decks are almost entirely full of machinery. An area creating enough power for driving such an enormous vessel through the water needs to be really, really big. Very often, engine rooms occupy at least 3 decks. But rather than long hallways stretching lengths of halls, machinery is almost always divided into smaller compartments. One might be the house main engines, and another might be to contain air conditioning system. This compartmentalization is for safety reasons. If penetration to a hull or fire happens, multiple compartments help contain the damages. See at the right of the Allure of the Seas, the cruise ship engine room, and usually they just have these giant engines built into this. And normally, newer ships usually have 2 engine rooms. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Rarely, engines are not placed at the bottom of the ship. 4 main diesel engines on the RMS Queen Mary II are placed above the keel, and 2 smaller gas turbines are on the top of the aft funnel. An interesting fact is that it was not unusual for older lines to feature 2 engine rooms. Gradually, technology allowed for consolidation of engine spaces. However, legislation today requires vessels to have equipment duplication in at least 2 engine rooms. Remember, we have many past videos available for you to watch at our website, including all our past CruiseWeekTV shows at CruiseWeek.tv, which also has links to our t-shirt pages and support pages as well if you'd like to help with funding for our Season 2 trip, or if you would like to advertise on the show, you can do that with the links from our site. If you know someone who will enjoy watching the show as much as you, be nice and share the link to their Facebook goal so they too can enjoy it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Just doing that alone really helps show our sponsors the support we have and helps keep our show alive each and every week. Plus, to get entered into some great cruise swag drawings, join myself and Bird this Wednesday for our cruise ship social live chat at 8 p.m. when we get to know you guys a little bit better and in a more casual setting. Till next time, guys, we'll see you on the ships.